Alright guys, Powerful here with another special replay cast. And this cast is actually going to be from a tournament. As you can see, it's going to be the DH Masters SC2 2021 Summer North American qualifiers. And this match is going to be from the qualifier number 2, one of the qualifying matches, a best of 5 between Perfect Zero and Drunkenboi. Now, Perfect Zero, if you've watched the other video on my channel, he's a very competitive North American Terran player. Very highly ranked on the ladder. And on the other hand, Drunkenboi, this is a player who, if you've been following the StarCraft 2 scene for the past few years, you might recognize him as one of the top North American competitors from the years 2014 to approximately 2016. He used to be a very terrifying player, but recently, he's kind of moved on from the game a little bit. He's not really playing that much. He's going to play in like a certain qualifier here and there, but overall, he doesn't seem to be actively playing anymore, but he's still a force to be reckoned with. As we can see, if we open up his match history on Iligulac, we can see that, okay, in 2020, he didn't really play that many games, but when he did play, he was able to take games off of powerful Grandmaster players, such as, Starkiller here, and I don't know who this is, but he's probably a very strong player. So definitely we can see that Drunkenboi does have a lot of potential, and he would be considered the favorite against Perfect Zero in this sort of match. But we can see that although he had some results in 2020, it's not as good as when he was in his prime. If we scroll kind of like all the way down to like maybe 2016-ish, this is when he was kind of in his prime. He was like defeating some very powerful players such as Epic. He even defeated Scarlet that one time. So this was kind of when he was considered the most threatening. Right now, we don't know how much he's been playing. He's probably not a lot, and he might not be familiar with this new age TvT that has arisen in the past couple years. So in this best of 5 TvT, what we're going to be looking for is whether or not Drunkenboi will be able to sustain his dominance in the matchup generally against Perfect Zero's new age style that we're about to see. And if we're looking at this tournament, this is quite an important tournament in the sense that there's prize money involved. If either of these players make it through, they're going to be in the next stage where they're guaranteed at least $100, and they have a chance to qualify for the next stage in the actual event, the DreamHack North America Summer. So without further ado, let's get into this matchup. The first map is going to be Romanticide, and we've loaded into the game already, so let's just get started. Alright, and on the top left corner we have the retired Terran player, still quite good though. It's going to be Drunkenboi. And in the bottom right, this is our hero, the player that we want to advance, obviously. It's Perfect Zero. Now, we look at this profile picture from Perfect Zero. This is actually it's like an ironic contemporary art, His clan tag is Perfect. However, this picture is of the imperfect Cell from Dragon Ball Z. This is why it's so ironic, because his clan is supposed to be perfect, but the picture is of something that is the opposite of perfect. Alright. So, we have Zero starting off with the barracks into a gas, whereas Drunkenboi goes into the gas first. And Drunkenboi is going for the SCV Scout without taking the second gas, indicating that he wants to get that quick command center. Now, this type of build from Drunkenboi, it's really fallen out of favor over the past couple years of TvT meta. That's because, there's some like annoying things that you can do. Like you can do like these fast walls where they can't even scout you. So it's quite annoying, and it's not really completely safe to be doing a build like this. But in a best of 5, if you want to mix things up, you might want to try this maybe 1 or 2 times. As you can see, Zero does that full wall so that this SCV doesn't really know what's going on. Like it's possible that there's like a proxy rack somewhere, and then he just can't figure it out because all he sees is like a full wall here. Now, Perfect Zero also scouts because he's playing that double gas standard build here. So what Zero's doing is, this is considered the most safe opening in this meta, and Drunkenboi he actually did something weird. He's not even going for the Reaper. So I was wrong when I expected him to go for the CC. This is actually very unorthodox here. Now, by skipping the Reaper, he actually saves the 50 gas, so you can get that factory really quickly off of only 1 gas. So, by having this, he's actually pretty safe against any proxy Reaper type of builds. So, you know, that's pretty funny. He's going to get that Hellion. Oh, wait. No, he's going to get that Widow Mine. Alright. So, already a pretty weird opening from Drunkenboi, and because of this, you know, it's not actually that unsafe, but as you can see, Perfect Zero, his command center is going to be on location, and it's going to be slightly faster. So, you know, definitely the early game, it favors Zero here, I would say. He's got that map control with these 2 Reapers. He did skip the Hellion, and I think the reason he skipped the Hellion was because he scouted he scouted this, I think. Well, I actually don't know why he skipped the Hellion, but it's interesting for sure. Now here, he's going to go up here, and very good Widow Mine placement. He's going to catch one of the Reapers here. And then these 4 Marines. Pretty good early game so far by Drunkenboi, I would say, by getting that Reaper. Not able to get any damage in. Now, one thing I don't like from Drunkenboi is he's not getting that second gas yet. I think he's just going for that medevac pressure very quickly, which is definitely a decent choice. But the fact that he didn't get the second gas, it's going to delay his next starport unit, I believe, or something's gonna be delayed here. He's not gonna be able to build like a Raven and a siege tank at the same time for some reason. Now here we can see that the only caster for this game has actually left the game. So as of now, anything that we see coming out of this game will be never before seen. So it's gonna be very interesting. Now Drunkenboi, he's going for that 1 medevac and 3 Hellion pressure. He might go for some multi-prong, or he might just stay home with the Hellions. We'll see. And Perfect Zero, he's got that set up with the standard Cyclone plus tank, and he's actually getting that Viking first. So this is kind of the safest way you can go if you're expecting like a medevac pressure. So here, oh, this is a very nice multi-prong. However, Zero unsieges the tank just when the drop hits, and then this multi-prong, he knows that this tank will become unsieged, and he can just run in with the Hellions. And then this army kills that outside depot. So very decent damage so far from Drunkenboi with this pressure. Only now do these Hellions get cleared up, and if we look at the workers lost count, 5 workers have been killed for Drunkenboi. So he's kind of evened up the economy here. Both players on 29 workers. And now he's just gonna get out of there. Let's see what the tech follow-up is. So for Drunkenboi, he's getting the 3rd, he's adding on the Raxus now, but you see the problem with taking this gas so late. His Raven has only just started, so he's going to be falling way behind Perfect Zero on the Ravens. So that just means that Perfect Zero's standing army is just going to be more powerful, because his Raven is out faster, and it's going to be building up that energy, and it's going to be able to get that second Raven as well. So right now, I would say, although Drunkenboi is a little bit ahead in the worker count, just because of that Raven speed, I wouldn't say that I would favor his position generally. I would say it's a pretty even game so far. Well, the one thing is, I like the infrastructure setup for Drunkenboi. It looks like he's only going to go for 1 Raven, and then he's going to go straight for Stim, and he's going to land his 3rd. So he does have a little bit of an economy lead so far, because Perfect Zero is only halfway through his 3rd base, and he doesn't have his extra production. So actually right now, I take back all I said. I think Drunkenboi's position is much better, just because he's got all these Marines here, and then once the starport finishes, he gets a couple medevacs. He's going to be able to put on some insane pressure on Perfect Zero. It's going to be very hard to hold this 3rd base when he eventually gets there. Only now is he starting his 2 extra barracks. Double eBay, going for those upgrades up for Drunkenboi. This is going to be a lot faster than what Perfect Zero is putting up, I believe. And right now, the question is, how is Perfect Zero going to do against all these Marines? Because his barracks are just not even close to being done. He's going to have to rely on Vikings to really catch these drops, but it's not guaranteed that this is going to happen. And Drunkenboi is doing a really good job. He has that high Marine count, so he can afford to put all these Marine spotters out on the map. So he's got like complete map dominance right now. I really favor Drunkenboi's position at this point. Now this drop is going to come in. Let's see what Perfect Zero has. He's kind of got his entire army somewhere else, so this is going to catch him by surprise here. He's going to react with this army, pulling away the SCVs, and on the meanwhile, this entire rest of the army is going to be moving across the map for Drunkenboi, and he does pick up and he just like drops into the main. Now this is where the high APM and multitasking of Drunkenboi is going to shine. He's got that 249 average APM. This is some Grandmaster level play right here. Perfect Zero, he's got to slowly bring his units into the main base. But on the meanwhile, we can see that Drunkenboi just went for some sort of poke, and now he's going to go for another drop into the natural. Now, while this is happening, this is also dropping in the main, and all this stuff is happening on one, so this is really taxing both players' APM here. Perfect Zero, though, this is where having these two Ravens is really helpful. Whenever there's like a Doom drop or something like that, you can use the Ravens to disable the tanks, and it's going to really help your defense. So far, it's been a decent defense by Perfect Zero, but on the other side of the map, there's some monster macro coming up from Drunkenboi. He's getting that saturated third base, and he's even building a fourth on location. And this is because he's so confident. He's got that map control. Perfect Zero, he doesn't have medevacs yet, so he knows that Perfect Zero is forced to stay on his side of the map, and he can just take these bases freely. Perfect Zero, he's trying to position his Vikings to catch drops because he knows the opponent is going to go for that mass medevac style. And he's just trying to wait it out, catch up on the upgrades, just catch up in every aspect of the game before he can actually attack. You know, this type of defensive stance this is very difficult to do if you're behind in TvT, but if you can learn this effectively, you know, your win rate will just skyrocket, because not only will you be able to win games where you're ahead, but you're going to be able to claw back in the games where you're behind. So here's Drunkenboi. He's got that complete map dominance here. He's just sharking around. What he wants to do is he wants to see if Perfect Zero is going to take that fourth command center, and then as soon as that fourth command center lands, that's when he's going to go for that big attack, I believe. He's just gonna keep macroing here. Let's look at the infrastructure right now. Drunkenboi, he's going up to 8 barracks now, which is the setup that you want once you take 4 bases. Perfect Zero, look at his barracks setup. He's only now getting his 4th racks and 5th racks, so his setup is just far worse right now compared to Drunkenboi. And Drunkenboi, okay, so he sees that, okay, Perfect Zero is trying to do something on the map, so he's going to respond to it in kind. Perfect Zero going for that 4th base right now. He knows he can't really attack. He's just going to keep his defensive stance for now. And Drunkenboi, he scans the 4th base. He knows it's coming, so now's the time to try to deal the maximum pressure, I would say. One small mistake from Drunkenboi, he did forget to get plus 2 attack for his infantry, so but there you go, he starts it now, so it's not going to be a big deal. The bad thing for him is that he wasn't able to deal enough pressure, and now Perfect Zero has managed to secure the 4th base. So now, as the game gets closer to max, I would say that Perfect Zero is getting closer and closer to equalization in this game. Now, something that Drunkenboi is doing right now is he's going for that double prong here. He's going to station some units outside of this base while also potentially going for a big attack on the 4th base. I think he's just going to do a slow siege here. He sees that there are enough tanks here to deal with the initial pressure. And Perfect Zero's brought some units here. Now he's going to check what do you have at the 3rd. Perfect Zero defending perfectly. He's got the correct amount of units on both sides. And he's even got some turrets here. So this drop, he might even lose a medevac before it drops. So, oh, not too cost efficient here from Drunkenboi going for that drop. And both sides here defended well by Zero. So this is some excellent defense. And now you can say that Zero has finally equalized the game after such a horrible start. But you know, Drunkenboi does still have some advantages. He's almost done his 5th base, and his he still has a lot more barracks than his opponent, so he's gonna have the capacity to remax his infantry a lot faster. But when you look at the unit count, we can see that the tech it's heavily in favor of Zero right now because he's got these Vikings. He still has his 2 Ravens from the start. He's just gonna go ahead and clear these 3 siege tanks over here, which deletes any pressure that Drunkenboi had on the south side. And Drunkenboi, he kind of ran out of medevacs there. He suicided too many medevacs. He's only got 5 medevacs on the field right now, and he's about to lose this one if he drops into the main. We can see that should be enough here to clear this. Zero is going for some marine pressure. He's hoping that Drunkenboi presses F2 and is out of position here. On the meantime, this drop is also happening in the main base, so a lot of multitasking required at this point in the game. The drop is going to be slowly cleared up by some siege tanks, but at the same time, a huge marine fight is about to start. Zero's going to lose these Ravens, unfortunately. Maybe, oh yeah, he's going to lose them. So now this is going to reset the tech. No more Ravens for Perfect Zero, and he should have taken that fight, but I think there's too much going on. As we can see in the production tab, Perfect Zero, he's adding on those 2 extra starports, getting Corvid Reactor, and he's going to want to go into that late game Raven play right here. And this is kind of like the new age way to play TvT in the late game. You're just going to go for a lot of Ravens, and then you can use them when your opponent's out of position with his siege tanks. And this is something where I doubt Drunkenboi has seen it very often, and he might not know the best response to it, and he's definitely not going to be playing it himself, for example. So at this point, we can kind of see the themes of this game. Drunkenboi, he's taking the entire map. He wants to mass expand here and then just shove a huge amount of marine tank. Look at this. He's got 4 factories and 16 marines producing at once. He's even built 2 extra marines. He's got 10 barracks right now. So Drunkenboi, he doesn't want to get Ravens. He just wants to get a huge economy and get that high marine count and marine tank army. Now another counterattack from Zero with 2 medevacs here. That does deal some damage to Drunkenboi's mineral line. So now we can see that Zero is up by 15 workers. And if Drunkenboi wants to continue this style, he's got to replenish those workers. He's got to like take some more bases because, you know, eventually Perfect Zero is going to start mining from those outward bases, and it's not going to go well. Now a lot going on. Zero actually redrops into the main base, and Drunkenboi, he does have a lot of reinforcements here, so he's able to kind of clear that. But it's a lot of distraction here going on, like very good multitasking from Zero. He's kind of just like preventing Drunkenboi from being able to concentrate on this part of the map, which is this is definitely where he wants to concentrate on, but you know, Perfect Zero making it really hard, not giving him the opportunity, and now he's kind of built up a pretty decent Raven count of 4 with 2 more on the way. So as his Raven count gets higher and higher, the army power of Perfect Zero will also get higher, and there's a chance that he's going to take a very good engagement at some point. Now, one thing to note here is that, okay, a big attack coming from Drunkenboi, but you can see the power of these Ravens here. 4 interference matrices coming up immediately and shutting down those tanks. Only 2 more tanks in the front line for Drunkenboi, and even though he's got 3-3, the Ravens can kind of compensate for that by going for that anti-armor missile. And this is where we can see Perfect Zero, being a person that has played a lot of TvT in the year 2021, he's gaining some small advantages here and there with his choice and strategy over Drunkenboi. And now you can see these tanks completely useless. The Ravens, the mass Raven late game style of Perfect Zero is starting to pay off here, and especially when that 3-3 finishes. You know, I don't know how Drunkenboi is going to deal with all these Ravens. We'll see though. He's gonna try to saturate his base number 6 here, and does have a good defensive stance. I don't think Perfect Zero will be able to break this, but we'll see. He does get those interference matrices here, and gets rid of those tanks in the front. And now we can see the supply is up for Perfect Zero, but he's only been on 4 bases this entire time. He's only now getting his 5th against the 6 bases of Drunkenboi, but if you look at the units lost, he's up by 5,000 resources here. And that's just from the superior unit composition and just like careful careful planning of the engagements from Perfect Zero here. Drunkenboi is constantly trying to run into a brick wall here, basically. This is just a masterclass of the modern TvT by Perfect Zero. Now, right here, Drunkenboi does have like quite a lot of siege tanks in this line, and that's because of his 4 factory production. You don't often see a Terran player going for 4 factories in a bio tank TvT. But this is what we're seeing from Drunkenboi, and this is why he's able to just defend forever. Because with all these tanks, it doesn't matter how many Ravens you have, because you're just not going to be able to interference matrix all of these tanks without some Marines just like killing the Ravens, you know. And now, oh wow, Drunkenboi going for that full surround here. Perfect Zero not quite ready for this. His reinforcements were a little bit too late here, and he's going to lose all of those tanks. So, very good engagement from Drunkenboi there, and he's not done. He's going to go for that additional drop, trying to kill a few more siege tanks, which he does. Now, let's see if he can save these medevacs, though. It's going to be a pain in the ass if he has to rebuild these medevacs. Does lose a couple, and he's going to get away with 3, so not too bad. He does have a second starport at this point. He forgot to get a reactor, and he's just going to build 3 medevacs at once. Not a bad choice here, and oh, but Perfect Zero, he's establishing a couple more bases here, and he's gonna start catching up the income very soon. As you can see, he's even ahead in the income. He's mining so much gas per minute, and he was able to replenish his army. Look how many Marines he has. There's no way Drunkenboi can actually break through here, and now Zero's going for that drop kamikaze, trying to kill those siege tanks in the front, and he will do that. So good job by Zero, getting that nice trade. Looking at the unit count, he's still got 8 Ravens for Perfect Zero. He's building 4 more Ravens at a time. This is some monster macro here from Perfect Zero. Building 4 Ravens at a time, 15 Marines, and he's on 6 base. So he's actually equalized the base count with Drunkenboi, which is not good for Drunkenboi. He kind of stopped macroing at some point. Like, he should have taken at least 2 extra bases like a long time ago if he wanted to keep up in the macro, but I think he just got too focused on the engagements, which can happen at this level. Nobody here is like Clem, so they can't really just expand massively while doing all these fights and skirmishes. And now look at all these Ravens. This is insane. Almost all of these tanks are going to be affected by these interference matrices, and look at this fight. Those tanks are useless against those Ravens, and Drunkenboi, he can't believe it. He can't believe how strong those Ravens are. He's probably thinking about doing it himself, but he hasn't practiced in probably like 2 years, so there's no way he's going to be able to beat Zero in a mirror matchup of Ravens. So he's just gonna go with what he knows, which is 21 Marines at a time, 4 siege tanks at a time, and 3 medevacs at a time. You know, and that's respectable. You know, he's had so much success with this style in Heart of the Swarm and early Legacy of the Void. So at this point, you just gotta go with what you're good at. So respectable here, and now he's just desperately trying to defend here. Look at these Raven spells, just doing so much against Drunkenboi, and he's getting every single upgrade too. He even got like structure armor. He's getting a couple CCs. He's slow pushing Drunkenboi to death. Look at the unit count. Drunkenboi, there's so much pressure going on the front. He can't even do any counter attacks. And even if he did, look at this: planetary, turret, planetary. So, you know, any sort of drop, it's going to be very difficult to deal the damage that you need. And with like all these sensor towers here, you're basically forced to try to go for these like head-on army versus army engagements at this point. Now he did secure that 7th base here, so he is ahead in bases. And if we look at the economy, it looks like he's dropped some mules. So Drunkenboi, he's still maxed with a sizable bank, so it's still not easy to finish him off here. And he's now he decides, okay, I need to go for something here, so he's gonna split off some Marines for a counterattack. And now here we go. Gonna deny that 7th base from Perfect Zero, killing a lot of SCVs here, so that's gonna be good here. And oh wow, Perfect Zero a little bit out of position here, and Drunkenboi going forward with the Marines. Oh wow, that is a Marine slaughter. A Marine slaughter right there. Perfect Zero not exactly able to get those Raven spells in there fast enough. And the Drunkenboi, he's denied that CC on the top right, and he's going to go for another CC, I believe. Some Marines running back, but this might not be enough Marines because of these two medevacs here. Let's see this fight. Just going to run away here, and in the meantime, he wants to see, okay, what do you have here? Can I break this? I know you're distracted here, so can I break this? And the answer is maybe? He's gonna go for it, but it looks like he wasn't able to replenish the Marine count very well here. Not a lot of Marines with this breakthrough, but he does manage to get it. He does manage to get it, and if we look at the unit count, once again, Perfect Zero, only 2 medevacs right now, so his army is a little bit bruised. But 11 Ravens is definitely good. Now, Perfect Zero, he only had 2 factories this entire time, so one advantage that Drunkenboi has right now is he does have a huge siege tank. He's got 16 siege tanks. This is practically mech at this point, and he's taking the 8th base, so he's managed to claw back by having some pretty good economy here. And now, oh, Perfect Zero, he's just gonna pounce on this. All of these siege tanks have been disabled. Now Drunkenboi, he's got to run away with these Marines right here. These tanks are all immobile, unfortunately, so they're not helpful in the battle at this point. And Zero, he's gonna keep these tanks here to defend against this push, and he's gonna try to clear this army in the top corner. And he does get rid of that top right base from Drunkenboi, so that was very good. That was very cost efficient from Perfect Zero there. And now this is why he left these tanks here. He knew that at some point there was a chance that Drunkenboi would have tried to collapse on his position, but very smart positioning here. And whoa, look at this. These tanks up here, unseen by Perfect Zero, and this is gonna slaughter all these Marines, unseen, and he still hasn't noticed them. And oh wow, this is not a very good fight. Wow, these MVP tanks. The kill count on these tanks must be insane right now, and it's starting to get very scary for Perfect Zero because it looks like he hasn't been able to expand as much as he wanted. Now that he's out of money, though, I think he's going to start focusing on the macro a little bit more, but the bank is very high in terms of the minerals for Drunkenboi, so he's still going to be producing those 21 Marines at a time, and now he's going to actually potentially get a base here, so not sure about this game anymore. Good defense here by Zero, though. He still has that Raven count, and that's going to be able to help him defend this base here. And the drop on these couple siege tanks, maybe he's going to be able to get a kill on these. But a bunch of Marines to the rescue here. He's only going to be able to get one of those tanks. And alright, so now Perfect Zero, he does manage to claim the top right, and that's going to be a split map. Zero has officially taken every single base on his side of the map. So at this rate, if he's able to mine out of that base, as he tries to get that tank but is unsuccessful, if he's able to mine out his side of the map with the way that he's trading right now, eventually he will be able to starve out Drunkenboi in a long drawn out game if he so chooses. But we'll see how this goes. Drunkenboi, I don't think he's intending for this game to go into a mined out situation. I think he's going to try to find openings here in the position, and we'll see about that. Now, oh wow, this is the power of these Ravens once again. Like in a straight-on Marine fight, just having that anti-armor missile will just make Zero's army so much stronger. Even if he doesn't have the medevac count that Drunkenboi has, just having that -3 defense is just so devastating, actually. So Drunkenboi, he's retreating now, and if we look at the unit count, he's still on that Marine tank medevac with a lot of siege tanks, and right now he just wants to get a very good position with his tanks and just hope that Zero just miscontrols his Ravens completely or something. Now look at this! Look at the power of this planetary fortress. This planetary fortress bought so much time for Perfect Zero that he was able to just slowly walk his army and his Ravens over to clear those tanks. Look at that! Look at that power right there. Like these Ravens are just so effective right now for Perfect Zero. When you play Ravens against a guy that doesn't have any Ravens, you can see how hard the game gets for the opposing player. And alright, so Drunkenboi, he's finally decided I'm going to take the final base on my side of the map. So after he lands this, every single base on the map has been taken. Now here's another fight, but we still have these MVP siege tanks. So anytime Zero tries to fight in this choke, these MVP siege tanks with 17 kills, 15 kills, and 16 kills respectively are just shelling away at his marines. So this is the main reason why Drunkenboi hasn't been able to stay in this game. Those siege tanks, Zero just needs to realize that they're there with a scan or something and just disable them if he wants to take a fight over there. But we can see that now all these stims, they've kind of taken a toll on the HP of his marines. He's going to have to go for a couple more medevacs here, which he does. And now another attempt here, but remember that time when Perfect Zero got the structure armor upgrade? Yeah, so that's kind of paying off here. This planetary fortress, you're not going to be able to take it down with marines, unless you're Perfect Zero. Then you can take it down with marines. Like, wow, look at this. Alright. So now that base has been taken, and both players have dropped to below 60 workers. Another marine firing squad here coming from Drunkenboi. Well, I think he's going to be trying to siege this part of the map eventually as well. So now Perfect Zero, he's just walking around. I think he's just trying to track Drunkenboi's army, because he knows that with any straight-on army engagement, his army is just simply superior. Drunkenboi is trying to, you know, sneak around. He's got chances, sure, but he knows that he can't take a direct fight. He's just trying to sneak around and get some cost-efficient engagements from surprising Zero at this point. So here's a surprise marine squad, but he knows that with structure armor, it's like impossible to kill off these planetary fortresses. So he's in a huge dilemma here. He's still building 21 marines at a time. And oh wow, here we have it again. Is he going to disable these siege tanks finally? Finally does. He disables them, gets some interference matrices. Now you gotta kill these, you gotta finish these ones off. And he's gonna attempt to with these auto turrets, and he does get them, but oh, on the other side, a huge ambush here by Drunkenboi. He knows that the marines from Zero have low HP and is able to pick off a lot of them, but it's not gonna work here. And some MVP siege tanks of Zero shelling away at this final marine attack from Drunkenboi. And yeah, not gonna work here once again. Positioning of these tanks is a little bit too good here, I think. And Drunkenboi, he's evaluating what he's got so far. He's building marines, building tanks, and that's about it. At this point, Perfect Zero, he's even taking one of Drunkenboi's bases. As you can see, he's got like +2 in terms of bases against Drunkenboi at this point. So, starting to be extremely dominant for Perfect Zero right now. Drunkenboi, this seems like his last attempt here. He's starting to mine out here. Doesn't have a lot of income left, so he's gonna want to siege up as best he can, and then just hope that the Ravens fly into his marines or something. So that's what we're dealing with here, and it's not completely simple for Zero. If he wants to charge in against this, he needs to disable almost every single tank, which is not easy to do with all these marines here. So he's going to have to be a lot more patient here. Like, he might have to give up a couple of these bases. He's going to go for it here, getting that anti-armor missile and disabling at least the first 3 tanks. So he picks off the first 3 tanks and he denies the high ground for now against Drunkenboi. Drunkenboi, I don't know if he wants to wait for these marines to recover from the anti-armor missile or if he's just going to go for it. Alright, so some more matrices coming down. He has enough energy on these Ravens to do something. Now this disable it lets him get these 3 siege tanks in position, and that's going to be very good for Zero. These tanks are covering a lot of ground here. It's going to be hard for Drunkenboi to get close. And wow, even got some battle cruisers coming out for Zero at this point. He's got that high bank, and he's pretty confident in himself right now. He's even going to get some battle cruisers, so that's good. And all while this is happening, he's mining out the 2 corner bases. He's just much higher in the income at this point. And Drunkenboi, he's on his last stand. He's gonna go for it, going for that stim. And so many of these tanks getting disabled now. And Drunkenboi, he does clear a lot of the armory from Perfect Zero, and he does have a lot more tanks and marines coming up. So still has a little bit of a chance here. He's gonna pick off this battle cruiser, but no. Okay, never mind. He doesn't have a chance because these 2 extra battle cruisers are gonna come out. And this is kind of it. If you look at the production tab, Perfect Zero is rich. He is just producing. He's gonna max out once again. And that now, Drunkenboi, he's been focusing so much on these tank attacks that, you know, he's forgotten about the corner base. He's realized, okay, I've been out expanded at this point. Even if I take out this base, it might not be enough because of this fearsome army coming out from Perfect Zero. Look at that. And now Perfect Zero scans the remainder of Drunkenboi's army, and he's gonna get these battle cruisers. Just total destruction here. The battle cruisers are going to be able to clear up the siege tanks. And now the rest of the marine force coming out. Going to be finishing Drunkenboi off. Now a very epic game. But it looks like it's about to come to an end here. With Perfect Zero up 2 bases. Mining out the entire map. Now his army is so strong, he's going to be able to potentially knock out these last few mining bases for Drunkenboi. These are actually the only 2 mining bases because this is mined out, this is mined out. So this is all Drunkenboi has in terms of the income, and he's just lost half of his income right there. So that's gonna be tough. He's gonna have to go around, go for some sort of base trade. Hope for some sort of base trade, but Zero's not gonna give it to him. Zero's just gonna fall back with his army. Now there's a lot of marines though, so these battle cruisers, they don't have enough upgrades, maybe, so he's gonna lose these battle cruisers and Vikings. That's not cost efficient, but Zero, he's gonna have to leave that last mining base for now. He's gonna have to run back and deal with this counterattack for Drunkenboi. So small positive here, but it's not enough. Perfect Zero takes game 1. And he takes a 1-0 lead in this match. And while I set up match number 2, I'm gonna put this in a waiting screen for now. And Perfect Zero, he's up 1-0, and we're gonna go straight into game 2 now. One thing we're gonna have to watch here is Drunkenboi going to approach the early game differently? That's going to be what we're looking for, I believe. So, without further ado, let's load into the next game. Alright guys, here we have game number 2 of Perfect Zero versus Drunkenboi. It's going to be on Jagannatha. Nobody knows how to pronounce this map's name, so I'm not even going to try. And on the bottom right, I mean bottom left, we have Perfect Zero. So powerful. And on the top right hand corner, it is Drunkenboi. Now Drunkenboi, he's going for that gas first once again, and Perfect Zero, he's going to be playing it more modern style with the barracks first. And as I mentioned before, the benefit of going barracks first is that you can do a full wall very quickly. But even Perfect Zero doesn't even care about the full wall. He's just decided, okay, I want to go for this because it gives me a faster command center than going gas first. Maybe that's why he's going for it. But anyway, it's going to be the same style of opener from Drunkenboi here. He's going to go for the gas first and SCV scout. Now, what's interesting here is we want to know if Drunkenboi is going to go for Reaper, because one thing that he didn't do last game was going for that Reaper. He actually went for Marine first, so that's going to be something to watch out for. Perfect Zero also going for the SCV Scout, albeit at a slightly later timing. And then he's going into that double gas. Okay, so here's Drunkenboi. His SCV Scout is rather early. He's going to get in there. And now that there's no wall, he's actually going to come in and check how many gases Perfect Zero has taken. And on the other side of the map, he's going Marine first once again. So same opener as last game for Drunkenboi so far. Let's see if he deviates from what he did last time, which was Marine Widowmine drop with 3 Hellions. All right, so both players have scouted. They're happy with what they've seen so far. For Perfect Zero, he scouted that it's a full wall from Drunkenboi. He's gonna go for that 2 Reaper setup. It'll be interesting to see what he gets out of his factory once it's done. But for now, looks like he's pulled off of gas, and he wants to go for the command center here. And in the meantime, another Widowmine opener from Drunkenboi right now. So looks like he potentially wants to go for that medevac once again. Command center goes down from Perfect Zero, and he's gonna go straight to Tech Lab again. So just 2 Reapers here, and then the Tech Lab. And I assume he's gonna go for the starport at some point pretty soon, which is right now. No, not right now. Okay, that's gonna be pretty late on the starport, maybe. It's definitely later than what I'm used to seeing, and that's because he's going for that very quick cyclone. So the question is, will he be able to do enough with this quick cyclone to justify having a later starport and therefore a later Raven? Now, wow, whoa, look at this. Drunkenboi, he did take that second gas very quickly this game, and he's going for that Cloak Banshee. Now, Perfect Zero, he's going to send these 2 Reapers out here to scout, so we'll see if he's able to, get wind of what's going on here. We do have 3 Marines guarding the Reaper jump spot, so Perfect Zero, he's very smart. He's going to try to go around here. He's going to try to go for the alternate direction, and oh no, he just got wrecked. He just got wrecked there. Excellent Widowmine. He knew that Perfect Zero had the potential to go up that way, and wow, he has no idea about that. And now here's where Perfect Zero, seeing the Marines and seeing the Widowmine, he's going to be expecting the same thing as last game. He thinks, oh yeah, he's going to get that 6 Marine plus Widowmine medevac. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Viking, just like last game. It's going to defend it just like last game, right? That's his mindset right now, but he's not expecting this Banshee. And I think this is why Drunkenboi went for the Banshee this game. And that's because last game he saw that Perfect Zero, he didn't go Raven first, he actually went for the Viking first against that opener. So he's like, oh yeah, if I go for this Banshee, he's not gonna have detection ready. And this is exactly what happens. There's no detection right now for Perfect Zero. He's even going with the slow build on the Tech Lab here. And fortunately for Zero though, he did save a scan here, which is a very powerful move. With this scan, he's able to lock onto this Banshee, and he doesn't kill it, but that's enough damage on the Banshee where Drunkenboi is going to think twice about using it again for the rest of the game. Now, the second Banshee's on the way, and Perfect Zero, just because he's taking that earlier command center, he's still ahead in the workers slightly, so, Drunkenboi, there's still a lot of pressure on him to deal like a little bit more damage to equalize the economy right now. As you can see, he still doesn't have that orbital command on his 3rd base right now. So here's the second Banshee. Perfect Zero, does he have a scan ready? He doesn't even have a scan. Wow. But the Raven is done, so that's why he doesn't have a scan. Alright, so Perfect Zero. When it's all said and done, 8 workers killed for Drunkenboi, but Perfect Zero, with that earlier command center, doesn't mind losing 8 workers because he's still able to maintain that slight worker lead here. And on the other side, what has Drunkenboi gone for? He's going to be... Okay, so he's rushed actually to 3 barracks immediately, and he's not getting a Raven at all. Now, for this sort of play, the main advantage for Drunkenboi is he's going to have these medevacs out very quickly, and he's going to have a lot of potential to deal damage to Zero with drops. Because right now, what Zero has done is he's gone for these 2 Ravens, and he's even going for a 3rd Raven, actually, right now. So, yeah, Zero is actually going to go for a push, which I don't disagree with. Now, Drunkenboi, he knows kind of how to stop these pushes. You've got to meet them in the middle of the map, and then just make sure that it's hard for them to make progress. So, this is what Drunkenboi is doing. He's sieging up at points that will prevent Zero from walking forward. But wow, Zero, he scanned immediately and saw the unsiege, and he's able to pick off a couple tanks for a very low price here. So that's very good for Zero, and we'll see if he wants to keep going, because his Ravens are out of energy now, so it'll be very difficult for him to break the 2 remaining siege tanks that are out here. So well, we'll see about that. The tank siege and Zero, I think he's going to consider retreating at this point. The 3rd Raven meets up with the rest of his army, and we will see what happens here. Now, if we look at the production here, 3rd command center and 2 more barracks for Zero. He's going to be playing bio once again. And for Drunkenboi, still no sign of a 3rd command center. But wow, decent engagement there from Drunkenboi, thanks to his earlier stim. And now it's a very dangerous time for Zero. He knows that Drunkenboi has stim and probably better marine production than him so far, so this is why he decides, okay, now is the time to retreat. I think he's figured out that Drunkenboi, he must be going for some sort of 3 barracks setup. Even though he hasn't scouted it explicitly, that marine count and the fast stim, it should tell him that Drunkenboi is on at least 3 barracks before command center. And now Drunkenboi, he's going to have to take advantage of his faster stim to the maximum way. And it looks like he's going to be going for a 4 medevac doom drop here. At least that's what I would do if I had this position. So he's checking to see the 3rd base, and he sees, okay, Zero's trying to take his 3rd base right now, and that's extremely dangerous. So I'm going to actually come in here with these medevacs, and now look, let's see what Perfect Zero's positioning is. He does have a siege tank in the main base, which is going to go down immediately though. So that goes down, and 3 Ravens though, and an SCV pull. So let's see how this defense goes for Perfect Zero. Now he's able to clear those tanks, but these Marines are still alive. So can he get away without losing any of these air units? Which he does. Now that drop, it could have easily spelled a disaster for Perfect Zero, but it was kind of it was a very calm and collected defense there, where he knew he had the Ravens and used the spells correctly and landed the Vikings at the perfect time. And when it's all said and done, if you look at the resources lost, he's lost more, but he's built up a stronger economy behind it. So in the game overall, he is ahead. Drunkenboi, he wants to catch up in the economy, so to do that, he has to take a greedy 3rd base on location while still trying to maintain pressure. But Perfect Zero at this point, looking at the units tab, these 3 Ravens are just so strong. 3 Ravens and 7 Vikings and 7 tanks. This is almost impossible to break for Drunkenboi at this point. So he's got a big problem on his hands right now, and we'll see how he deals with it. So he's going for the 5 rack setup right now. I don't know if he's going to be going for that 4th base anytime soon, because his 3rd is still not even done, and he's got to be able to build an army that puts Zero in some sort of danger. So that should be the mindset right now for Drunkenboi, is how can I cause the most danger for my opponent? How can I make myself appear to be very dangerous, you know? So that's what's happening here. Zero, he knows he's very far ahead. He's getting sensor towers right now, and looking at the production tab, Perfect Zero adding on the extra bases, adding on, it's not adding on upgrades. That's one thing he's not adding on, and it's not gonna be great here. That attack did not work for Drunkenboi at all. I think he had some chances before that, but now I think his chance is to kind of build up to close to max, I think, right now. He wants to build up to that point and then maybe take advantage of his 2-2 upgrades, perhaps. But even then, these 3 Ravens, they have the potential to... Well, as I say that though, he just like loses all 3 Ravens, so never mind. Never mind there. But in exchange for those 3 Ravens though, he does pick off a huge chunk of Drunkenboi's army. So now Drunkenboi, he's forced to press F2. He needs to consolidate here. He's going for that 4th base right now. He doesn't even have gases at his 3rd, so he's going to be stuck on Marine Tank for a very long time after this. Whereas if you look at Perfect Zero, he's going to be going for that late game transition now. You know, he's about to land his 4th base, and it seems like his mindset is, okay, after I get a 4th base, I'm not even going to add extra barracks. I'm going to go for a double starport right away and go for Ravens. That seems to be the MO for Perfect Zero in this series. And why not? You know that the opponent's not going to go for Ravens, and if you're going for Ravens yourself, that's just going to be like a huge advantage for you in terms of the army quality. And 4th base coming down, sensor tower coming down. So this is starting to be another dominant position for Perfect Zero here. He's got more bases, more workers, more income, better tech. So let's see if Drunkenboi can manufacture a chance here. He does finish his 4th base here, so if he defends well, he can drag this on to another 30-minute game potentially. Does have this... Wow, Perfect Zero though. This medevac hit squad. This is very strong right now. He might be able to pick off this command center, but he doesn't. Okay. Might have had a chance if he committed there, but he decides, okay, let me try to save this instead. Now this is a huge distraction for Drunkenboi right now. If you look at his army movement, he's forced to pay attention to this, and just right now, just not smooth in the army movement. He has all these tanks all over the place. I think he's kind of like lost track of where his tanks are at this point. This drop just being so annoying here for Perfect Zero. Just 1 medevac right now. Not able to morph this planetary properly. Needs to bring this... See, this group of units was supposed to be used for a counterattack, but now it's being used to defend the drop instead. So this just gives Perfect Zero even more space. Now he can kind of move out on his own unscouted here. Scans ahead. Very powerful army here. And he's going to catch Drunkenboi by surprise. And the reason this happened was that drop really put Drunkenboi out of sorts a little bit. Now the only thing I don't like here is, where are the medevacs? Where are your Ravens here, Perfect Zero? Like, you gotta bring in those units, you know? Like, well, what's going on over here? But anyway, can't criticize him too much, because he's doing so much right now. He's in Drunkenboi's main base, and he's trying to push this 4th base here, and he's doing quite a good job. See, like, even these 3 Marines, Drunkenboi, he can't deal with it right now, and looks like when this happens, you know that Perfect Zero has just pressed F2. So this means, like, all these units that used to be idle here, they're going to be flying over here, and this is the point where you've got your reinforcements, and you got a very high chance of just ending the game in the next couple of minutes here. You can see he's even using the medevacs to airlift these siege tanks into a very good spot. Not enough siege tanks here for Drunkenboi. I wonder where all his siege tanks are. I think he's kind of forgotten about the siege tanks in the back. And look at that. Planetary Fortress goes down. No opportunities to counter here. He wants to counter, but there's like this annoying sensor tower here. So Perfect Zero is just going to see it immediately. And Perfect Zero doesn't even want to go forward. His army is huge. He's maxed out. He's just going to take every base on his side of the map, and he's going to meet the counterattack from Drunkenboi here. So many tanks, Ravens able to use their interference matrix, and very, very good trade here from Perfect Zero. He's going to get rid of the rest of the army for Drunkenboi, and upon doing that, Drunkenboi leaves the game, and it's going to be 2-0 in favor of Zero here. Alright, so now let's go to the waiting screen once again, and we're going to load up the 3rd game of this series. So, to recap what we've seen so far in this series, Drunkenboi, he's gone for 2 different openers so far. He's dealt a little bit of damage to Zero both times, but Zero, you know, he's just so solid at defending and goes up into the late game with the Marine Tank, Medevac Raven, and seems like Drunkenboi, he's just having a huge problem with dealing with this advanced 2021 Terran composition. So here we have it. Zero's up 2-0, and Drunkenboi's gonna have to figure out a way to kind of knock Zero off of his game, because right now it's just looking dominant. Okay, so now we're in officially game number 3 with Zero up 2-0 against Drunkenboi so far. And in the bottom right, as we can see, it is Zero. And in the top, it is his rival, Drunkenboi. So powerful, but he's down 0-2 in this game. Another gas first coming up from Drunkenboi. He seems to be favoring gas first. I don't think he realizes that people are going for that racks into gas so commonly these days. Well, he must realize it, but he doesn't feel like practicing it, so he's just gonna go with the gas first anyway. So Perfect Zero looks like he's gonna go for the same opener here, double gas off of a racks first. Now, is Drunkenboi gonna bother with an SCV scout this game? No, and he actually goes for a double gas. Okay, so Drunkenboi is actually going to switch it up this time. He's actually going to switch it up, going for a double gas. So we'll see what happens. And double gas and an SCV scout. Okay, that is definitely a build, but I think Zero's build order is a little bit more efficient right now. If you look at the mineral and gas count, Zero has a little bit more money to spend here, and his barracks, by finishing faster, he's going to have that fast orbital command here. So I think in terms of the build order, I would say that Perfect Zero has that advantage. Now he sees the full wall. He's going to wait to see if there's a Marine. No, he's not going to wait for the Marine. Okay, he's just going to run. Okay. Never mind then. That was a little bit of a mistake. He's not going to realize that it's a Reaper right now coming out of Drunkenboi. And okay, so what is he going to do after the Reaper? That is the question. He's going to go for that 2 Reaper here, and actually fills up the gas immediately. So it seems like he wants to go for the starport. Whereas Perfect Zero, I don't know what he's up to. He has more gas mining than usual, so he might go for a starport as well. Oh, never mind. I'm just stripping. He was just filling them back in after that CC. So he has those 2 Reapers right now, while Drunkenboi is going for Reaper Hellion. He's going actually for 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion. So this was the build of choice back in around 2017, I would say. This is what every Terran used to do in 2017, that 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion type of play. And this is going to be very good, because look at Perfect Zero. He probably thinks there are Marines. He's like, oh, I need to watch out for Marines. And then all of a sudden, wow, look at these 2 Reapers and Hellion right here. Perfect Zero, he's got to run from that. But what we see here is that fast Cyclone from Perfect Zero, going for that extremely fast Cyclone. He's going to be able to pick off potentially a Reaper or a Hellion here. I do not think Drunkenboi expects such a fast Cyclone, and here it is. Oh, fortunately, very fast reaction time from Drunkenboi here, and if we look at what he's doing here, he's actually going for the very powerful build. He's going for the 4 Reaper, 4 Hellion right here, or I guess he kind of did the build order wrong. He's supposed to go 4 Hellions. The 4 Reaper, 3 Hellion here with the Liberator. This is a very strong build, but let's see what Perfect Zero has against this. He has a siege tank. Wow, okay. Now the only reason he has a siege tank here is because the builder he went for skipped the Hellion. So by skipping a Hellion, he's going to have a siege tank and a Cyclone very, very quickly. And I think Drunkenboi did not expect this. This is kind of a rare build in TvT where you get those factory units so fast, and Drunkenboi's like, oh no, why does he have a tank already? This is like impossible. And then now, he's in danger of losing all these units. Wow, look at that. Huge tank shots onto that army. He loses a Reaper and 2 Hellions. Wow. And on the other side of the map, wow, there was a Reaper that ran by here. Let's see how much it killed. I didn't even observe that. Wow. He killed 2 SCVs with that, and the CC's not even done. I think he even delayed the CC with that. So now, Drunkenboi, he's got to be unhappy with the amount of damage he was able to do, which was, you know, denying a little bit of mining time, but that's it. Perfect Zero, he's got that natural already established. He's got that double mule, producing SCVs. And how many Ravens is he going for this game? He's already got 0 Ravens, and he's going for his first one right now. That's amazing. Okay, that is amazing. And this Reaper, he's so diligent. He's just gonna run in and scout all of this. Drunkenboi is actually moving out right now, so if he wanted to, this Reaper could actually snag an SCV kill, which he does. Wow, everything going right for Perfect Zero. He even kills 2 SCVs. Like, what is going on? How do you run Reaper in at 5 minutes and kill 2 SCVs? Oh man, and this Liberator just got smacked. Wow, that is insane. I do not think Drunkenboi expected such solid defense from Perfect Zero this game. And now look at all this army. 3 siege tanks against the pitiful army of 1 siege tank. This might be a blowout right here. Look at this fight. Auto turret just goes down instantly once the Raven goes in there, but fortunately there is this choke point here which makes it impossible to move through for Perfect Zero. So thanks to that, Drunkenboi will be able to hold a position on the map for now. But let's see what's going on. Another Raven coming out for Perfect Zero. The question will be, is he going to go for a 3rd Raven here? Which he does not. I think he's going to go for that reactor starport, which is one of his favorites. And now Perfect Zero, he's trying to be sneaky here. He sees that the army is all the way over here. He's going to try to sneak all the way into the natural. And this is very smart. Like, this is causing Drunkenboi to have to spend his APM following the army of Perfect Zero, and seems like he's not ready. Look at these tanks, are all the way back here. You know, Drunkenboi was kind of just hoping that Perfect Zero wouldn't do a move like this. He was so far behind that he had to kind of rely on the opponent not doing certain things properly, and looks like it hasn't worked out for him. If we zoom out here, Drunkenboi does have the air control, which he's going to rely on. He's building 1 Viking and 1 Liberator at a time, but he just lost the natural mining, so he's just so far behind in the economy, and he's just going to give up here. And with that, Perfect Zero, he's going to take that clean sweep over Drunkenboi, 3-0 in this tournament. And he's going to move on to the next stage of the qualifiers and secure himself $100. I think this is the first $100 he's earned at a StarCraft 2 tournament. So this is definitely going to be the start of his pro career here. You know, Perfect Zero, like currently he's working as a software engineer full-time at Shopify, but I think he's going to quit his job pretty soon. I think he's going to go pro. Like, it doesn't matter that he's like married and stuff. He's going to quit his job and get a divorce, you know. And it's just going to go full-time. So in the next 2 years, you got to like watch out for this name, Perfect Zero, when you see these tournaments, and just gonna expect some great things out of this guy. I think he's got some great potential. He's only 27 years old. You know, you gotta understand, when you're only 27, you know, there's many years of video gameplay that is still yet to come for you. So that's gonna be it for my cast right now, and I'll see you guys next time for my next special cast.